blank canvas. The annual City Youth Arts Festival was just 2 weeks away, and as a senior, Sonia had been invited to showcase a centerpiece. It was a massive opportunity, the kind that local art critics noticed, the kind that could help her secure a scholarship to her dream art school. The problem wasn't a lack of ideas. It was an overwhelming abundance of them, paired with a paralyzing fear of failure. Every time she approached the massive 6-foot canvas resting on her easel, her mind went completely blank. "You're overthinking it, San," her best friend Maya said one afternoon, leaning against the doorframe while avoiding a wet pallet on the floor. "Art isn't a math problem. You don't solve it, you just do it." "Easy for you to say," Sonia muttered, tying her curly dark hair back into a messy bun. "You play the violin. The music is already written on the page. You just have to bring it to life." "I have to create the whole world from scratch," Maya smiled gently. "Then build a world you actually want to live in." Chasing inspiration, taking Maya's advice, Sonia decided to leave the confines of her studio. She packed a lightweight wooden sketch pad, a few charcoal pencils, and a small watercolor set into her backpack, and headed out into the city. She spent hours walking through the bustling street markets, watching the way the afternoon sun caught the edges of bright orange marigolds and deep green vegetables. She sketched an old man reading a newspaper on a park bench. Frustrated, Sonia walked up to the highest point in the city, an old, overgrown hill that overlooked the entire valley. By the time she reached the top, the sun was beginning to set. That was when she saw it. The sky wasn't just turning orange. It was exploding into a symphony of violent purples, bruised pinks, and brilliant, blinding golds. The wind whipped through the long grass, bending it in waves that looked like a green ocean below. The city lights were just starting to blink awake, like stars falling to earth. Sonia felt a sudden, electric jolt in her chest. She didn't reach for her sketchbook, the masterpiece. When Sonia got home, she didn't even take off her shoes. She ran straight to her room, tore the protective plastic off the giant canvas, and grabbed a wide palette knife. For the next 3 days, Sonia barely slept. She painted with an intensity she had never felt before. When her brushes felt too restrictive, she used her hands, smearing thick layers of paint across the texture of the canvas. She blended hot pinks into cool blues, creating a sky that looked alive, moving and beautifully chaotic. In the center of the canvas, she painted a silhouette of a girl, not standing still, but leaning into a great wind, her hair dissolving into the very colors of the sky itself. It was a self-portrait, not of her face, but of her spirit. On the night before the festival, Sonia finally stepped back and dropped her palette. Her hands were raw, her clothes were ruined, and she was exhausted down to her bones. But as she looked at the painting, she smiled. The festival, the gallery was packed with people, but Sonia stood near the back, feeling incredibly vulnerable. Her painting, titled "The Colors of the Wind," hung on the main wall under a bright spotlight. "Is this yours?" the woman asked. Sonia nodded, her heart hammering against her ribs. "Yes, I'm Sonia." The woman looked back at the canvas, a quiet smile forming on her lips. "Most young artists try to paint what they see, dear, but you painted what you felt. Never lose that courage." As the woman walked away, Maya bumped her shoulder against Sonia's, grinning from ear to ear. "Told you so," Maya whispered. Sonia laughed, the anxiety finally melting away. Looking at her painting, she realized She hadn't just created a world on canvas. She had finally found her place within it.